What's up guys, thanks for checking out the channel. In this video I'm comparing the Pixel 5a 5G with the Oneplus Nord N10 5G. Let's go ahead and take a look. So the Pixel 5a 5G is the newest phone from Google. This is probably the best Pixel ever launched. It's only priced at $450. It is a mid-range price phone, but to me it feels like a flagship device. There's a lot to like about this device. The Oneplus Nord N10 5G is a super value-driven phone that gives you a lot of bang for your buck. Its unlocked price is around $280, but you could find it as low as $50 if you're on the prepaid market, such as Metro, for example. And it has a lot of the same stuff going for it on the Pixel 5a, so this is a very good comparison. So let's get more into it. Let's go ahead and go over the specs, and then I'll tell you what I think that stands out both of these devices and what's a better phone. So value is a big name in this comparison, and both of these offer great value for their prices. For $450, the Pixel 5a gives you a flagship, no compromise phone for half the price. This is a $1,000 phone pretty much, but only at $450. There's no compromises here. There's a lot to like about this at $450. The Nord N10 5G, on the other hand, is pretty much almost as good as the Pixel 5a, but what really makes it stand out is the price and value. You can get this as low as $50. If you could get this phone for $50, you should definitely cop it. It trumps the Pixel $450 price tag no matter what. But there are some areas where it's better than the Pixel 5a 5G, and in some ways it's not as good. Some of it's bad, some of it's better. You get the drift. But 5G is both of these on these devices, so that's a very important factor. If you live in a 5G area, you should get better speeds, and you should definitely take advantage of it. If you're looking for a new phone, it should be a 5G phone. These phones are they weigh about almost the same, around 6.4 ounces for the 5a, 6.7 ounces for the N10, so similar sizing on these devices. Build quality, the 5a has an aluminum frame, aluminum back, which is okay. It feels really nice. Nord N10 5G is, on the contrary, a plasticky feeling device. But at the end, it's a tie for me because build quality is not that much important, because I do protect my devices with a cheap TPU case, practical uses to prevent scratches and dings and just damage in general. And I slap a tempered screen protector on there as well. And I spend less than $10, so I think everybody should do that. So that pretty much takes away the build quality. So this is a tie. Next is the SIM card. The 5a has a nice little unique bonus of having an eSIM built in, so that means you could have two different services, two different phone numbers, two different data plans, or if you're traveling, you could activate service without a physical SIM card. Very convenient. Not a lot of phones have that. Only Pixels, iPhones, and some Samsungs have it for the most part. The Nord N10 5G does not have that capability, so a little bit of an advantage right there for the Pixel 5a. Another little bonus is the IP67 dust and water resistance on the Pixel, up to 1 meter for 30 minutes. To me, it's not such a big deal because I don't really hang around. I don't let my phone hang around water or pools or showers or sinks or anything like that. I don't put it in danger for the most part, and I'm not really that clumsy with phones. But if you do have kids, or if you're an outdoors type, that might matter to you, and that might be a little bit of a bonus. Now moving on to the display, I'm not a big display guy. I'm happy with as long as it's decent, as long as it's not like super terrible. But both of these look like pretty good displays. You got a 6.3 inch on the Pixel 5a, 6.5 inch on the Nord N10. Both of these phones are similar in size for the most part, not overly huge. You got an OLED 60 Hz display on the Pixel 5a. The Nord N10 has an impressive 90 Hz IPS LCD display. So if you're the type that like high refresh rates, the Nord N10 is a better phone in that regard. And for a cheaper price, it's very, very humiliating for the Pixel to have a lower refresh rate than the cheaper device. I could rock a 60, 90, or 120 Hertz, but if you're giving me a choice, of course I'll pick the more faster refresh rate. Both of these have the same resolution at 1080p, so that's a big win for the Nord N10, just because of the fact you're spending less money and you're getting the same resolution. PPI is over 400 on both of these, so they're pretty good. Pixel 5a has a bonus of having an always on display. Not too much of a deal breaker for me. Doesn't matter if it has always on display or not, but it's nice to have if you have the phone on the desk and you don't have to physically interact with it to check your notifications and incoming messages and stuff like that. Now for the software, the Pixel 5a has a clean stock version of Android coming straight from Google. You're gonna get 3 years of updates, and you're gonna get them on day one. The Nord N10 5G also has a stock version of Android, but that's pretty much it. That's where the similarities end for the software. You're gonna have an older version of Android 10, and it's not gonna get updated, and that's pretty much it. The Pixel 5a is going to have a longer software life, so that's gonna be important for people that just like to keep it updated. To me, not too much of a big deal, but if I had to choose, obviously I would get the Pixel 5a for the software. But all your regular apps are gonna run on both of these platforms, even if it's older software or whatnot. So it's not too much of a big deal. On the chipset, the Pixel 5a has a 765G processor versus the Snapdragon 690 and the Nord N10. Both of these, I'll be perfectly honest, are going to be fine for everyday apps and usage for everyday people. And I'm talking about Twitter, WhatsApp, video, YouTube, Netflix, Disney, hotspotting, Bluetooth, social media, all that good stuff will work. Light gaming as well, such as Dead Trigger and Grand Theft Auto, in my opinion. Call of Duty will work pretty good. As long as you're not into super high intensive gaming or video editing, both of these chipsets are going to be decent. Now for the internal storage, both of these are tied at 128 gigs. Very good amount of storage. You shouldn't have any problems, especially since these are 5G devices. We're going to be streaming everything and there's no buffering, so there's no real need to have a lot of storage on a phone, but you have it there. Bonus for the Nord N10, you have a microSD card slot. So very impressive on the Nord N10 5G with having all that storage at a cheaper price. Now for the camera system, the Pixel 5a has two cameras on the back, 12 megapixel main, 60 megapixel ultra wide. Nord N10 has four cameras, 64 megapixel main, 8 megapixel ultra wide, 2 megapixel depth, 2 megapixel macro, and both shoot in 4K. Now, I'll be perfectly honest, you'll be happy with both cameras on these devices, but the Pixel 5a is just head and shoulders the more reliable, robust, flagship level camera on these devices. It'll shoot great pictures and video in the daytime, and at night has very smooth video. The Nord N10, on the other hand, I give it in the daylight, having just a really great quality, but like every other Android, like most other Android phones, they are terrible at night, and that's where you're gonna see the difference. But overall, better camera is the Pixel 5a 5G. The selfie cameras, you got the 8 megapixel on the Pixel, 60 megapixels on the Nord N10, and they both shoot at 1080p. You'll take pretty good selfie camera pictures and videos on both of these devices. A little bit of bonus on both of these, having a headphone jack. To me, I really don't use the headphone jack anymore, but if you like to plug in your headphones or your mic or connect it with an aux cord to listen to music, do your thing. That's a feature that's usually found on lower to mid-range phones, not on flagships anymore. As for connectivity, you got Bluetooth 5.0 on the Pixel 5a, 5.1 on the Nord N10. Both of these versions of Bluetooth will connect to your wireless speakers, to your wireless headphones, or your smartwatch. And you got USB Type-C charging for both of these, pretty standard stuff. NFC on both of these devices, that's mostly used for payments, Google Pay and stuff like that. For unlocking and security, you're using a rear-mounted fingerprint reader on both of these devices. It's a very reliable, old-school way of unlocking your phone, but I think it's better than having an in-display fingerprint reader because those are kind of finicky, and for some reason, those are found on more expensive devices. I really like rear-mounted fingerprint readers. Next is battery life, and luckily both of these phones, since they are 5G, they need big batteries, and they both have them. The Pixel 5a has a 4,680 milliamp battery, which will give you 2 days of battery life. So that's one thing that Pixel has fixed. They finally got big batteries. The Nord N10 at 4,300 milliamps is not too bad. It'll give you pretty much a day and a half of battery. Both of these offer fast charging, but the Pixel 5a only gives you 18 watts, while the N10 impressively gives you 30 watts of fast charging. And both of these phones have the charging brick in the box, which is a nice bonus. So we've gone through all the specs. I pretty much educated you on all the things that you need to know, the differences between these devices. And I'm gonna have to give it to both of these devices. They're both very solid. Both of these phones can be found for under $450. The Pixel 5a, there's no real discounts on those $450 since it's not found on prepaid. The Nord N10 takes it in the value department for sure. Unlocked price is $280, but you can find it as low as $50 if you're on Metro prepaid here in the US, which makes it a steal of a phone. Very impressive at that price point. And at $450, the Pixel 5a has it's a flagship phone in half the price. There's no compromises really. There's no real downside on the Pixel 5a 5G. It's just that it's only available in the US and in Japan. So other than that, you know, it's at $450, you cannot go wrong. But the value in the price, the Nord N10 is just awesome. Camera wise, Pixel 5a has an awesome flagship level camera. Nord N10 doesn't have one for the most part. It'll lose its quality, especially with lower light. Processor wise, both of these phones will do the job. It'll let you run all your music apps, video apps, social media, podcasting, maps, web browsing, calling, texting, video chatting, email, hotspot, Bluetooth, and gaming such as Dead Trigger and Grand Theft Auto and Call of Duty with no real problems. It's an everyday, both of these phones are for the everyday person. They shouldn't have any issues whatsoever. But if I had to choose between these devices, I'm probably gonna have to lean towards the Nord N10, especially at that $50 price point. You can, even at full price, you're getting it for half the price of the Pixel 5a. I just wish that the Pixel came in prepaid, and you could definitely, if it were on prepaid, you could find it for either for free or for $50. It's just, you know, but other than that, if you're looking for no compromise Android phone, get the Pixel 5a 5G for sure. But if you don't care too much about the camera, I definitely suggest getting the Nord N10. You're getting way more value out of it, except for that camera. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.